God. I hope all of you are doing good. Today I want to meditate on Philippians chapter 4, verse 11, the last portion. For I have learned in whatever state I am, therewith to be content. Paul is telling in whatever state I am in. And Paul is telling about the state in want, in hunger, in famine, or any situation. I've learned to be content. How can we learn? We are going through a very tough situation in the world, in our home. And Paul was going something similar to that, in prison, not in a great state. The churches where he established, he can't minister. Far away, he doesn't know when he's going to come out. Going through pain, people with him falling sick. Epaphroditus was about to die. There was a serious famine in Jerusalem. Tough situation. But he's telling, I've learned to be content. How can we learn to be content as children of God? Chapter 4 is the ending of his conversation with the Philippian church. He makes few statements which is very good lessons for us to learn. How to be content. From verse 4 onwards, if you read down, we learn a lot of lesson. Verse 4, chapter 4, verse 4, it says, rejoice in the Lord always. So we, instead of recollecting and talking about all things that is going on in the world, we should learn to rejoice in the Lord for great things what He has done. Today we are alive. So many things to thank God for. And the next one he says, in verse 5, he says, live in moderation. In midst of that, don't live in complaining, grumbling. Live a holy life. Live a blameless life. Live a truthful life. It is very beautiful to speak to the Lord. Next verse is that if you are anxious, be not anxious, but do what to do. In prayer and supplication, make all your requests known to God. So make sure that you pray. Most of the time we spend more time on social media, WhatsApp, reading things, seeing the news, how many people tomorrow, what will happen. When we go through all these newses and all these things, do you spend more time in prayer in the presence of God, or do you run about to know what is going on? We should know. I do not deny that fact. But in comparison to our prayer life, that should be very minimum. Our prayer life should be high. The next verse is that the peace that passes all understanding will rule our heart. What is ruling our heart? All the news? Peace. How do you have peace of God? It doesn't naturally come. See, Paul made a statement. He learned. How do you have peace? Unless you be in the presence of God, how are you going to have peace? Your mindset will be according to what you feed your mind. You read news, your mind will be fearful. I'm saying you're completely surrounded with that. And especially in isolation, when we are not seeing people, we need to spend more time with the Lord as a family together, pray together, be in the presence of God, that the peace which we don't understand will rule our heart. The next verse, he goes on, chapter 4, verse 8, he says, what to think, this is very important during this time. Whatever is pure, whatever is honest, he goes on to gives a list. Very beautifully he says, whatever is true, whatever is honest, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is good report, whatever is of good virtue, what is of good any praises. Think of these things. What are you thinking of? What are we thinking of? Are we thinking of consequences of what might go wrong? Thinking is our choice. We can decide what to think. What do you decide to think? You can decide what to think. Our thinking is in our hand. And in continuation to that, Paul is going on saying that I have seen all these things, I have rejoiced in the Lord greatly, and then he comes and lands on verse 11. And he says very clearly, I have learned to be content. Let me quickly say one thing. Rejoice in the Lord. Learn to walk right with the Lord. Take your anxiety and worry in prayer to God. Be in the presence and be peaceful. And decide to think what is right in every situation. We will be thankful. God bless you. Stay safe and be content during the season. The season also will pass.